Hey everyone, Incoherent here, back with more of the Julii Campaign. Our wars aren't going quite as well as I would want them to. I've been playing pretty sloppily these last few parts, but I'd still say they're going well. We're making a good pace on conquering new lands. Defensively, we have a war of Numidia over here, but the army they're sending isn't too threatening, and I can just rally Principes and Equites and eventually fight all of this off. And I'll be doing that once my commander has, or rather, I'll be going west and conquering their mainland after my commander deals with this one city over here that could potentially be a thorn in my side if I don't deal with it first. Now, unfortunately, if we go over to the list tab, you can see that while I'm recruiting a lot of units, I'm only building infrastructure in 2 cities, and Larsa's actually not building infrastructure, it's just repairing things. Now, at the end of the last part, I was looking at this siege, where I had to go up against stone walls and the faction leader with 2 units of phalanx pikemen in the middle of the square. So, honestly, I probably should have a part where I stop for a second and go play some custom battles, because I've been struggling with this general and 2 pikemen in a city way harder than I have any right to. But let's just learn it live, right?
With such portents, we need only march upon the enemy.
I don't think he heard about what's been happening in other sieges around the game map, because we don't have a great track record with this sort of fight. Okay, so this battle is fairly simple. They don't have enough units to actually defend their city in any capacity, so I'm just going to knock down a hole in the wall. If they try to come defend the hole in the wall, then I'm just going to move the ram down the fence, knock down a second hole in the wall, and then come inside the city.
Our soldiers have reached the gates with a battering ram.
And since they are trying to defend, I can actually just move up my archers to guarantee that they don't. So you can see they're just arranging a phalanx directly in front of the gate. It's not really going to be too big of a problem, though, because I'm just going to move slightly down the wall, away from the peltast, I guess. I'll tell my archers to start making these peltasts fuck off.
Our soldiers have captured the walls.
Their range feels way lower than I would expect it to be. They are just out of range of the tower, though, which is all that really matters. I can't help but notice this phalanx keeps getting very close to the gate.
Have smiled on us today. The walls are
Alright, I don't know if this general's just running around in circles for no reason, or if he's specifically trying to come out of the gates, so I need to run this phalanx forward. I mean, it looks like he just ran his general into range of all my missile units, so I'm completely down with this. Once they're out of range, I'm just going to run my archers over to a slightly better position. And I believe I've sort of figured out, from watching other people's videos and just remembering how to play the game, what I need to be doing. What on earth are you guys doing with this pathfinding? As I was saying, though, how I need to be playing to abuse missiles against people camping the square. It's even slower and more patiently than I've been doing things, and kind of hilarious. So I'm going to run both my hoplites in right now. Actually, I should not be doing it that way. I should be telling them both to stand exactly on top of each other. That way, when they put down their spears, there'll be one single completely broken phalanx that's twice as dense as it should be. I'm assuming that still works. It was in the original Rome Total War, but was kind of not how the game seemed like it was supposed to be. Are the peltasts running forward to melee with my hoplites? I mean, this prevents me from putting in phalanx formation, I guess. Or does it actually? If I tell them to put down their spears, are they able to get into formation? I would say no. This looks like a resounding no. The peltasts are also preventing the enemy hoplite from actually doing anything, though. I'm down with all of my ranged units doing what they're doing currently, but I do need to move my infantry to actually get ready to do something, and my cavalry in case they're needed later. I want my Principes to throw their javelins here. And I think when I threw javelins previously and they ran in, it was because they were still technically engaged in a melee. And these should do ridiculous damage, because these are actually stronger ranged units. Actually, let me check that to see if it's still the same. I can't look at enemy units, it doesn't seem like, in terms of what their stats are. I think it's very funny that hold alt to expand tooltip actually makes this smaller. I don't understand this UI. As far as I can tell, I can't actually select an enemy unit to press I and open its ability card. So, Illyrian mercenaries have a missile attack of 13, whereas Principes have a missile attack of 13 as well. Okay, so they're even. Maybe it's Bellates that are weaker. But regardless, this is just as good then as my Illyrian mercenaries, and they're being thrown directly into the undefended backs of the phalanx. Oh hey, the phalanx finally went down! I'm going to send these to charge in now. I'm also going to send my general in to make sure anyone who routs doesn't actually make it back to the square. So I've just told all of my units to move into the city, because I'm pretty sure at this point they're never leaving the square again with what few units they have left. And my general is going to run down what's left of this phalanx. And you guys should stop firing at will and preserve your ammunition. What little is left, I suppose. Okay, so at this point I've moved my units around the city, but I've never brought anyone actually close to the square. I might actually have them too close for what I want to do, but if that's the case, then it'll still probably be fine. Because what I'm going to do is incredibly slow and patient. I'm just going to send units up one at a time to shoot a single volley. And when they fire that volley and draw attention, I'm going to have them pull back. It won't work perfectly at first due to the cavalry. In fact, thinking about this... So due to the pathfinding here, I really can't make them stand in this area. But since there's a very good chance the cavalry charges whatever first missile unit I send, I want my archers to be directly behind my phalanx for when that happens. What I wanted to do probably isn't really viable due to the fact this general is here. If they only had infantry units on ground, I'd be able to do this. But instead, I'm going to draw them into this phalanx with my archers, and line up my cavalry behind them. And my hoplites don't seem thrilled about the current situation. This phalanx is nowhere near in formation, though.
The enemy king has been slaughtered. Let us hope he does not poison the carrion birds.
So this isn't what I wanted to do this battle, but it was good enough.
The enemy army is in flight.
I did pretty much lose the entirety of my mercenary hoplites due to getting charged by cavalry, which seems like their main purpose in life was to stop that. I wonder how much of that was the gap on their side that I couldn't get rid of due to city pathfinding. With this many people in Thessalonica, I can't imagine them not rebelling. If I don't... Like, if I do anything other than exterminate, they're gonna rebel. Going to immediately build the Public Order and Law Shrine, because I desperately need that. And go to unit recruitment, and... Oh, thank God, I can actually retrain things here. I mean, I can't retrain these poor phalanx units, but I can do a little bit. So I do think this gets sieged. And I do think I probably sally forth and just destroy them, because they have so many militia hoplites that it probably won't be that hard to get a chain route going. No, I have to do it now, otherwise it's going to join up with their new faction leader and be a much bigger problem. I've been looking at this and wondering if I need to leave any specific unit behind. The Principes aren't doing too hot, and I want to see how they're actually doing on happiness anyway. I think I actually need to bring all of this with me, even though I don't want to at all. I can get another unit of hoplites though, so that's fantastic. Yeah, with 6 units of militia hoplites, I should be able to break morale here relatively consistently.
Bend your backs to your tasks, and all will be well.
I like the confidence. Okay. Since I'm planning on using cavalry to win this, I want to fight as much in the open as I can. And to that end, I'm going to be deploying in this forest and moving left immediately. Okay, so let's see what our enemy is and what they're doing. They've just formed up in the longest line they possibly could. It's kind of hilarious. So for the time being, I'm just putting all of my units at the edge of this forest to disrupt their formation if they try to deal with me. The exception of my cavalry, who have a job to do. I'm going to start by swinging my cavalry this way, so that if they try to move towards my general or my cavalry, they'll be moving towards my army as well. And I want to make sure that everyone who has missiles is on fire at will. This unit of light cavalry has their general, so this is my #1 priority right now. I just want to lure that away from the rest of their army and then crash into it with 3 generals and kill them. So all 3 of my units can't possibly complete the charge at once. What I'm doing instead is I'm using my not my general, but one of my family bodyguards to draw the attention of these pikes and make sure they don't do anything useful. And this unit should just be dying immediately, yeah. They are already down to half their initial count. I've lost very little by comparison. And so far, this is going exactly according to plan. The enemy really has very little they can do to deal with my tactics here. Such as they are, you know, the tactics of having more cavalry than them and higher quality cavalry at that. And their general's just incredibly easy to charge right now, so it's what we'll be doing. And this should be their general dead or routing at the very least. Dead by the looks of it, since he's routing through us.
Now he flees the field like a coward.
Okay. At this point, since their phalanx units haven't moved at all, I'm going to group all of this, lock it. For some reason, you have to pause and unpause after you group your units to lock them. And just have this start running forward, which means these phalanxes need to break their phalanx formation. Yeah, they actually have finally turned around, so I don't want to charge them right now. Just going to move. And eventually my infantry will show up, distract them, and I will end this for real. These units are just looking backwards. Their formation is not much of one anymore. I'm going to break this group down, and I'm going to tell the archers to stop and fire at will. And I can see this one unit seems to be trying to leave the battlefield, so I'm going to set up to charge them immediately. And I can see that these need to be just ever so slightly more forward. Now, what's this phalanx been getting up to since I started repositioning? They're still looking the wrong way. Charge them and kill them. Nope. They can put down their phalanx a whole hell of a lot faster than they could in the original room. Okay, glad I realized that. And I have my general, or not my general, but my bodyguards move this way. Have my general line up here. So this general is currently planning to charge into the back of this phalanx. These are going around the long way to get to the backs of the other phalanxes that are moving to engage. And I'm actually going to pull these charges over slightly since I'm not going to be able to make it to that one. This should break instantly when the charge hits. Okay. Everyone cut fire at will. Somebody is out of arrows. And honestly, I just want everyone who's in a line anywhere to hold. Actually, no. I want this to rotate this way and these spearmen to come here. I'm gonna let them keep killing these routing units. And for a while, I'm gonna have my generals just mopping up everything that's trying to flee. I have this pull back, and this move to get behind it. And this battle has went more according to plan than any other battle has in a very long time. Yeah, we're pretty close to the edge, so I'm going to switch to this other, much more high population unit. And this unit looks like it's just retreating, using the actual retreat command, so I'm going to have this charge it in the back. And I think we should be able to get the 85% and fully wipe out this stack. That unit's also in retreat, this unit's broken. So yeah, that's the battle. We can actually play the rest of this on double time. I'm just afraid that this phalanx is going to about face and kill my cavalry. Wait, they're running the other way now? What is this?
Show their true
Okay, that's what I thought, but I was very worried the phalanx was going to come down at the last possible moment. And the rest of this is just run them down, mop it up. So that went incredibly well. That is night and day from what I've been doing the past couple of videos. So with that, I think I put the nail in Macedon's coffin. These units can actually just make it back and be retrained. Which sounds fantastic to me. There's a part of me that honestly wants the archers more than warp pace, but my infantry line can get pretty thin pretty fast if I don't do something about it now. I've got $8,000. It's possibly time I should start making infrastructure again. I'm going to wait one turn though, so let's see how this end turn goes, and then I will handle infrastructure. Yep, they broke off the siege like I was hoping they would. Germany just failed to take a rebel settlement. The barbarians are going to war with each other, which is great for me. Germany's turn has not been going great. They failed 2 sieges that round. I'm unsurprised to see this, but I don't think it has any actual chance of working. It's literally just 4 units of Numidian cavalry. That's actually quite obnoxious. He appeared in Thessalonica, which is great for that war, but less great for Carthage. Decius Julius got +2 command, and I am now behind Egypt for most advanced. So the real question is, who the fuck is Decius Julius? He is the 16-year-old that just came of age. I could have sworn they'd said good commander +2 command just now in that notification, but whatever. They're at 70%, but their garrison value will go up from 30% to something, getting them out of rebellion range, so we're good on that front. So first, I think I need to regroup all these armies in the South Balkans. Get these on the boats and ready to be sailing up the coast. Make a peasant tier for garrison purposes. That is a whole lot more units than I thought I'd be having. Make a peasant for garrison. Oh my god, Athens is literally out of people. So what I'll do instead is I'll have Sparta recruit a peasant. Sparta is also out of people. I need to start enslaving. It will be very funny if this is a campaign where I learn a valuable lesson about exterminating cities and then trying to recruit from them. But, I mean, as of now, they've done their job. Thurman is very unhappy with my decisions. So it will have to recruit a peasant. And I will have this area actually train a new peasant. just to be sure that its garrison isn't a problem. Because I am taking away this unit. So since this stack is so large, it seems dreadfully wrong not to get a commander over to it, and I have this 16-year-old with a starting command star, so I think I would like to send him. The problem with that plan, of course, being that there's a bunch of Greek and Macedonian armies wandering around my land, preventing any clear passage south. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk one of my guys in this direction as far as he can while still being in range of the siege and drop a watchtower. Which unfortunately doesn't get my vision anywhere near far enough, but hey, I've got a spy right here that I just forgot about. And I can see that there is actually no armies around here to watch my movement. Which is important, because Decius Julius needs to sneak over there. Which is why I'm sending him here to hide. And I need to be a little bit slow about this so I can actually see how Thessalonica feels about the fact that it now has no garrison. It feels surprisingly okay. So I'm going to recruit a Principes and send this up. Move this army to here, and push the faction leader back into the city, because there's no way he's fighting this. I'm going to start the siege, build a pile of rams, and have this man come join the army. Move my diplomat down, since I'm doing agent stuff apparently, as I've started on my spy. With 4 units of javelin cavalry, I'm not actually sure I can fight this in the field. What I do think, though, is that I can just make them retreat. No, I can't. That's alright. I will fight this battle authentically. Alright, where are my allies coming in? The complete opposite side.
This is hopeful news indeed.
So initially, I don't want to do anything. But the Numidians do. So I'm left with very little options but to charge in. Actually, something important to do is right, is set literally everyone to loose formation. I'm gonna have these peasants withdraw immediately. They are literally useless to me. Okay. So then I've got my units in loose formation, which is going to be a lot better for charging missile units. We can see how this goes. I would check to see if my units actually beat theirs in a straight fight, but I have no way of checking. Not to my knowledge, at least. Oh wait, I just completely misclicked there. I meant to only send 1 unit. Well, that's a very good start. This peasant does not need to be here. I didn't realize he was trying to retreat to the opposite side of the map. I thought he would just go back where he came from. And have my Principes just continue charging forward. And yeah, this has been shockingly easy for me. I thought they'd a lot more effectively skirmish than this, and they just haven't.
He flees the field like a coward.
So yeah, this was shockingly easy.
The enemy army is in flight. Pursue them and drive them from the back.
We didn't get 85%, so they will escape, but they won't, you know, siege my city or take Carthage. With any luck, that'll be a Man of the Hour award. Nope, doesn't look like it. Oh wait, it is! That's excellent. He even has 3 stars. Good job, Cornelius Corvus. It's a fantastic name, too. Okay, so for this turn, he's just going to get back in the city. We're going to retrain all of these injured men and build another Principes. Build another Equites. This man is going to continue looking for this Numidian city down here, which is, you know, somewhere. It's either here, here, or here, and I can't remember which. Hey, it's exactly where I was going. And we don't need to do any cheese to get there this turn. We can get there naturally. The Scipii are finally taking Lilybaeum. Good job. These boats are coming down, which means I should add them to the retraining queue so that I can actually safely transport my units. And if I'm putting them in the boats next turn, I actually don't want this Equites. Although I probably need this equitage just for waging war in the future. Poor Greece! These 3 cities have a combined population of about 2,000, and they are the most iconic cities of all of Greece. Oh no, I've done something terrible. Next, I need to take this city. And I outnumber them so egregiously, and their units are so shit, that I can't imagine I actually have a reason not to auto-resolve. Alright, I'll stop trusting auto-resolve. That is not the sort of battle you should ever take 500 casualties on. On the one hand, I could enslave this, but on the other hand, it barely does anything anyway. I will enslave it, though. Going to consolidate my unit losses into as few units as possible, like always. It looks like I have 3 pretty well and thoroughly trashed units of Hastati now. Actually, 4. But there is a good thing about this. First, Salona is actually happy with almost no garrison. Of course, they can't retrain peasants because they're at minimal population, so I have to leave Hastati as the garrison. But I can now take all of these injured Hastati and start using them to make forts, because I was out of units that were good for that purpose. And Salona is still fine at this tax rate. So this army can then begin moving. It doesn't need to go to Apollina because we're already there. Actually, I'm going to send this army to Apollina and use these boats to take this to Kydonia and then to Asia Minor rather than keeping it in the Balkans. Oh, there is a Macedonian doomstack over here. Someone should have told me about this. They have real cavalry this time, not just light lancers. Well, with any luck, I'm actually fighting Macedon's last stack right now, so these will just become a rebel problem and not actually something I need to deal with. The body slave gives him +1 influence, not useful at all for me. I don't make a habit of keeping my generals inside of cities. Okay, in Batavia I'm going to build the Governor's Palace for sure. And I would say that I'm recruiting units in all the cities that matter, but I'm recruiting units in all the cities that matter that can, because suddenly a lot of them can't. I have decimated the population down here. I think I'm going to need to enslave Asia Minor, except for a few key cities I'll be using for unit production. I am glad I kept the population rebalance off. I do like the mechanic of having to actually worry about depopulating cities by drafting the entire population into a legion. It looks like this is the turn, though. Yeah, let's see what happens next. I am shocked that Macedon hasn't asked me for a ceasefire yet. Like, I'm pretty sure they're down to 1 city and massively weaker than me. But they are still trying to fight me. So on the announcements, apparently the people don't like me as much anymore, though I have no idea why. Pontus is at war with the Greeks, which I think means that both of them have expanded into Asia Minor. Okay, let's check out my popularity with the people. How bad is it really? I mean, I'm halfway up the list, and I'm better than anyone else, so I can live with that. Now, I do get the distinct impression that this navy is going to be a problem for me. See, when you lose a battle, you retreat towards your own ports, I think. But that means if I go here and get attacked, I'm not going to retreat towards Asia Minor, I'm going to retreat in the wrong direction. So what I'm actually going to do is drop them off and start building a port in Sparta, so that when this inevitably doesn't work, I can build a boat and send them along with it. That is a rather massive battle, that I might be able to avoid altogether by fighting this battle. Numidia has yet another minuscule army to come fight me. Let's first deal with this siege. It's going to be the easiest thing we're doing this turn. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and save now. I just realized I've been recording for 50 minutes. This video would be incredibly long if I keep going. So I will be back with more Rome Total War next time. This has been Rather Incoherent. Like, comment, subscribe, and all of that jazz. I will see you around.